the day on Lumen Christi TV. Today we celebrate Blessed Fransico and Jacinat Marto. Between May 13th and October 13th in the year 1917, three famous children, together with their cousin, that is Francisco Marto, Jacinat Marto, and of course Lucia dos Santos, who were Portuguese shepherds from Ajostral, received apparitions of Our Lady at Cover the area near Fatima, a city 110 miles north of Lisbon. At that time, Europe was involved in an extremely bloody war. Portugal itself was in political turmoil, having overthrown its monarchy in 1910. The government disbanded religious organizations soon after. Francisco, who was 11 years of age, and Jacinta, who was 10, are the youngest non-martyrs to be beatified in the history of the church. This brother and sister, who tended to their family's sheep with their cousin Lucia Santo in the fields of Fatima, Portugal, witnessed the apparitions of Mary, now commonly known as Our Lady of Fatima. At the first appearance, Mary asked the children to return to that spot on the 13th of each month for the next 6 months. She also asked them to learn to read and write and to pray the rosary so as to obtain peace for the world and the end of the world. They were to pray for sinners and for the conversion of Russia, which had recently overthrown Tsar Nicholas II and was soon to fall under communism. Up to 90,000 people gathered for Mary's final apparition on the 13th day of October 1917. Less than 2 years later, Francisco died of influenza in his family home. He was buried in the parish cemetery and then reburied in the Fatima Basilica in the year 1952. Jacinta died of influenza also in Lisbon, offering her suffering for the conversion of sinners, for peace in the world, and for the Holy Father. She also was reburied in the Fatima Basilica in the year 1951. Their cousin Lucia dos Santos became a Carmelite nun and was still living when Jacinta and Francisco were beatified in the year 2000. Lucia finally died 5 years later. The shrine of Our Lady of Fatima is visited by up to 20 million people every year. But what precisely can we learn from Our Lady's appearance to these little children? Our reflection continues after the break. Please stay with us.
Oh, come to the throne of grace. Oh, come to the heart most pure. To Mary, our home of love, in whom salvation is sure. Oh, Queen of the Rosary there, Immaculate Mother of Grace, oh, pray for us, help us today, oh, hope of the human race.
Welcome back. The church is always very cautious about endorsing alleged apparitions, but it has seen benefits from people changing their lives because of the message of Our Lady of Fatima. Prayers for sinners, devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, and praying the Rosary, all these reinforce the good news Jesus came to preach. His Grace Alfred Martins, who is the Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Lagos, has always encouraged us to pray the Rosary. In the same vein, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria and even the Holy Father Pope Francis have called us to take up the task of praying for our world, and not just any prayer, but praying the Rosary, adding that the Rosary is a more potent weapon of war that has won battles in the past. And so we are called anew to embrace the prayers of the Holy Rosary. Have you prayed your Rosary today? Pope St. John Paul II beatified Fransico and Jacinat on the 13th day of May 2000, on the 83rd anniversary of the first apparition of Our Lady at Fatima, teaching us that even young children can become saints. Our Lady of Fatima, pray for us. Thanks for staying with us. It's been Saints of the Day on Lumen Christi TV.